Vince McMahon was involved in a car accident following a high-speed chase. Plus, the names of those involved in the SummerSlam tryouts have been revealed. And did WWE just write off a long-standing NXT star? It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. As reported by TMZ, Vince McMahon has been involved in an accident whilst driving in his car. Consequently, is also facing a court appearance as a result of it.
Yeah, the incident occurred last Thursday morning at 9 a.m. in Connecticut. A pivotal day, Tom, in wrestling history. Of course, the same day that Hogan passed away. With McMahon's Bentley ramming into the back of a BMW and colliding with a guardrail. A vehicle on the other side of the highway was also involved as a result of the debris from the collision flying into the southbound side of the highway. All three drivers were wearing their seatbelts and airbags were deployed, so nobody was injured. All three vehicles, as a result of the damage, needed to be towed from the scene. The picture of Vince McMahon's Bentley in particular, it was a big one.
Totaled in those pictures there. Now, an account from one of the drivers was shared on social media soon after. Barbara Dolan, age 72, says she was lucky to have survived following the incident. She says, going into detail, Vince McMahon, former chair of WWE, hit me going 80 to 90 miles per hour as I drove in the right lane of the narrow Merritt Highway. I and the dog are mostly fine, but was lucky to have kept control of the car, more or less, as I shot off the road after being catapulted over 100 yards.
God, I'm glad the dog's fine.
That was the bit that got me. The dog's all right. An unmarked state trooper had been following him as he sped in and out of cars down the highway and had just turned his lights on to pull McMahon over. But he was not in time. Both front wheels of McMahon's Bentley were sheared off and his airbag deployed, probably saving him from significant injury. The trooper told me afterwards that McMahon saw me last minute and swerved, smashing into my left rear. But if he had hit me full on, there might have been a very different ending for me.
Yeah, Vince McMahon has been issued with a misdemeanor summons for reckless driving as a result of causing the accident by following too closely, and will appear at court next month, which will be interesting.
With everything else going on in the life of Vince McMahon and the allegations that he is facing from numerous other places as well, this is another one that we can add. We'll have more on this story when we know more at cultaholic.com.
Just slow down, everybody. That's what the moral of this story is. Just slow down. If you're running late, it's better to get there late than not get there at all. That's all I'm saying.
That's it. That's exactly it. Now, over to this weekend. Big old weekend of the wrestling. It is SummerSlam weekend, the first ever two-night SummerSlam. The festivities begin tomorrow in New Jersey with the tryouts for WWE. Among some of the track and college standouts that are coming along, there are some names from the powerlifting world, from the track and field world, from the collegiate football world as well.
Nerd world, Tom. Lyra Valkyria's nerdy nerd boyfriend's going to be there.
Oh, leave my boy LJ alone.
I'm only joking.
I know. Yeah, so among some of the track athletes and such, and the uni and the college leavers, we've got a bunch of indie guys. LJ Cleary, in there as well. Irish wrestling star, pro wrestling Noah talent, obviously the fiance of Lyra Valkyria. He turned up ringside for a match featuring Lyra recently and caught a lot of attention.
I want this guy to be world heavyweight champion. I'm rooting for him just because the stick he got for just looking like, having the gall to looking like he does. How dare he? Hope he becomes world champion up the Cleary.
Whatever he does, he's living his wonderful life. Will Cruz popping up there.
Meat.
Delighted.
No water. Dry meat.
He just completed his first tour of pro wrestling, Noah. He goes viral every so often with this hybrid style of powerhouse wrestling he has. I have had the pleasure of sharing locker rooms and calling the action of many Will Cruz matches. He is built like a fridge freezer, but with the engine of a Rolls Royce. Yeah. That's the only way to describe him. He's a beast.
He crops up on my Instagram feed a lot with his tricks. Obviously, I don't know what training center it is, but he's always training.
It's Pursuit Pro Wrestling.
He's whapping out these new moves in the warehouse, and it's like, how are you doing these moves, Will Cruz?
Yeah, how are you doing these moves, Will Cruz? So he was there. Lovely to see that. Golden Boy Santos. Now, this is a guy that WWE have had their eye on for ages, from Portugal. And I think this is the moment where I think we're going to end up seeing him finally join the company because I think he's great.
Yeah. Anita Vaughan, Irish pro wrestler based in London Town.
Yeah, so she is in a tag team called Hyperactive with Sapphire Reed, who just this past weekend had that match against Mercedes Moné at Rev Pro in Wolverhampton. So, and lots of love for Anita Vaughan again. Worked with her at Fury Pro Wrestling, worked with her at North. Really cool. Rain Leverkusen, UK wrestling standout. She had a major injury that took her out of the game for a good long while, but she's been turning heads ever since she came back, and I'm glad she's turning the head of WWE at this point.
The Bull CBL, Irish wrestler who recently faced Raj Desi, the former Jinder Mahal, of course, at OTT. The Reckoning. What's interesting here, Tom? All the UK names.
A lot of UK names.
I thought SummerSlam was near MetLife Stadium this year.
It is, but they have heard of a thing called a plane, and they have flown some of them in. Zoe Sager is from Canada. She was trained by Lance Storm. She's a WWE ID talent at the moment. There's a couple of names in there that have already signed to WWE ID deals that are getting like a bit more of a stronger look. So possibly a way of maybe upgrading that ID deal to something a little bit meatier.
Next up, we have Eli Knight. Yeah, it's Eli Knight, the brother or cousin or whatever of LA Knight. Recently been training at the Dungeon, a regular of Booker T's ROW.
Yeah, Jarquin McNair. Now, he's a former NCAA D1 collegiate wrestler, but he competes a lot of RSA wrestling at the moment. He's been a few other places as well, but I've seen his work at RSA and big fan of McNair.
Omari, a familiar name to me, Tom.
Yeah.
OTT, previous world champion. Standout of the indies over here, I'd say.
And a Midlands boy.
Dudley. I assume, I don't know.
Birmingham. Close nearby. Not as easy to get to Dudley from Birmingham on public transport, but it's certainly nearby. And what a time. Big Trouble, Ben Bishop. There he is.
Watch out.
Oh, if anybody is on it when it comes to the social game of a pro wrestler who absolutely deserves their goddamn flowers, it's Big Trouble Ben Bishop. Love Big Trouble Ben Bishop. Happy for him. This is because he's right. He's a guy that absolutely takes every little drop from the dishcloth of life and drains it all. Weird analogy. He had like one match on AEW and he has milked that footage in so many weird and wonderful and fun ways, and he's created a bunch of TikToks as well which lampoon the indie wrestling world. He's got charisma for days. I'm happy to see him on that list as well.
Good luck to all of them.
Yeah, other names in there as well, amongst like the track athletes as well that we saw, but in terms of like the indie standouts, they're the ones that we are very much keeping our eye on. SummerSlam weekend, which means coming up we've got 9 pitches.
Goodness me, yes. 9 pitches getting filmed today. Be on the channel later today. Tomorrow, the predictions with little Andy Dingle and I believe the Sam Dry there, who is the double champion. He's taken the reins and just given himself both titles, apparently. Who would do that as a wrestling booker?
That surely doesn't work for him, brother.
I'm joking. The predictions are a shoot, of course. We know this. And then, obviously, the weekend we'll have the live stream for both nights. I think they're going to do the full 3 hours of the pre-show both nights. Sam and Andrew podcast on Friday. You know what we do. You know what we do. It's the same every time.
Give me and thee for what happened and the WTF moments with this gentleman here coming up after SummerSlam's night 1 and night 2 as well. Let's look at last night's NXT.
The last scene, Tom, was heartbreaking, let me tell you. So last time we saw Tony D, he was beating up Stacks and the Legal Luca Crucifino, but crucially, Tom, he left his Trilby hat on the ring post, looking back at it thinking, I'm going to say goodbye to my former persona. It's time for a new Tony. I don't know why I went Jimmy Savile there. Whoa, I mentioned Jimmy Savile. Anyway, last night on NXT, Tony is in his restaurant and he's like, the way it comes up, the Don, can I get you some olives? Bah, 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 bah. And he's like, no, I don't want to be called the Don.
I want to watch the version of NXT that you watch because it sounds so much more fun.
It's time for a new Tony. I don't want to be called the Don. And then he just looks over his left shoulder as this shadow overtakes Tony D. What could this mean? Is it Luca coming back? Is it Stacks coming back? Is it Rizzo from the safe house? Who knows what's going to happen, Tom?
This is, I think, Tony D being written off. This is the ending to The Sopranos. The last scene of The Sopranos is Tony Soprano sitting down for a bit of dinner. They're playing Journey, Don't Stop Believing, and then suddenly someone catches his eye. He looks up, boom, fade to black.
And that's how it finishes.
That's how it finishes.
You don't find out what happens.
No, we assume that he got whacked by one of the people that were after him, but we never know. That's what they did here.
My goodness.
This shadow appeared, it went to black. They've just written off Tony D.
Seth Rollins' stable's getting a fourth man. It's Tony D.
That's a perfect way. If this is the end of Tony D'Angelo, of the Don Tony D'Angelo, the perfect way to end.
To be fair, he's done everything in NXT. If you're not going to put the big title on him, that's the one thing he didn't. Oh, did he? He did.
He won everything but the
everything
big
but
he won the Heritage Cup.
He got 2 wins over Febby. I remember that much, and that's all you need, quite frankly. So he's done it all in NXT apart from win the big title. So if you're not going to give him the big title, you might as well move him up.
North American title, Heritage Cup, tag titles. He's won everything but the main one in the men's divisions. Yeah, so now I think it's time to one
of the original 4 pillocks of NXT back in the NXT the 2.0 days. Andre Chase, Von Wagner, Joe Gacy, and
4 pillocks. Yeah. We did a video on the 4 pillocks. Ross dropped a fascinating video yesterday which looked at the evolution of Hulk Hogan's WCW contract, and it is loaded with information that absolutely blew my mind and made me, to quote Ross in the video, piss my pants.
My goodness me, there's only so much money in the world, and it turns out Hulk Hogan, especially in 98, not to speak about 94, 96, he had all of it.
Yeah, he had so much. Spoiler, he had a lot of money. It's just a fascinating look at how one of the biggest stars of the 90s just cultivated finance in their contracts with the company. And it's amazing. It's an amazing video. Go watch it. It's waiting for you on the channel right now. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.